Hey YouTube, do you remember when I told you about my spine issue? It was about a week back. Welcome back to another AlphaStar cast. Bad jokes in Starcraft 2, you know it's Base Straight TV. Rifkin coming at you here on King's Cove as we take a step into the PvZ realm of things. To the top side of the map, it is our blue Protoss. It is, of course, the only AlphaStar. With a very real, very human opponent in the bottom right, we do have a red player coming in at the ranking of Grandmaster. Now, PvZ's been a pretty abundant matchup, and frankly, it's kind of an interesting step to go back into the past into this, as several things have changed in the most recent patches, but of course, this replay is still only about 2 or 3 months old. It's not even that far behind the times. I do really love the new dynamics that have been brought into the matchup, the change up charge lots and the depths. And look, I know not a lot of you who watch the AlphaStar videos are super Starcraft fans, but some very cool changes have happened to this matchup specifically. So with the game looking not drastically different, but a bit different, it's kind of nice to go back and remember these times where Zealots hit for 8 on impact and what have you. Creep tumors could still be canceled. And anyways, I'm talking about this like this forever ago. Point is, it's an interesting step to go back into this and see what the meta kind of was, because of course it was a little, I'm gonna say stale for a time, but in the last month or so that we've had this balance patch out, I guess half a month at this point, we've really had a time for players to experiment with new things. We're seeing the resurgence of lurkers. It's really cool. I like where things are at, but I like where things were too. So not to, I guess, drone on too much about it. Don't worry, if you want to dislike the video, I'll forgive you. But you know, we have AlphaStar, our AI mimicking humans. You know, they had typed "good luck, have fun" at the start of this game. We just can't see it because of the replay. But you know, doing everything they can to mimic themselves on the ladder, kind of look like a human. AlphaStar, of course, was a barcode. It wasn't listed as AlphaStar. And it was a neat, you know, I think the coolest thing about AlphaStar on the ladder was because nobody knew who AlphaStar was, and there was no easy way to verify it without getting into technicalities with the replays and what have you. It was kind of a cool Easter egg mystery, just kind of who would actually get to fight AlphaStar. And you had from pros to Joes. There's a Terran game I cast a few days back, and apparently it was ours. He's like I want to say Russian, but I'm gonna get this wrong. But he's like a Russian style Terran player, and he was the one who played the mech game with all the Thors versus AlphaStar. So all kinds, all types, and certainly very fun games have been had from sure. But for this one, we've got a Stargate coming out of AlphaStar in the back, so we're probably going to see some Oracles, maybe some Phoenix, because if you've been on Reddit or you play the game at present, you know Oracles are kind of broken in a bad way. Blizzard really killed their damage with the micro, so unfortunately, we're not seeing Oracles be so prevalent anymore, but this was, of course, a time period where Oracles, come on, make me right, 50-50, baby. AlphaStar, do it. Make an Oracle, not a Phoenix. No, don't Chrono Boost an empty Stargate. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, it's an Oracle, yay. But yeah, so right now the Oracles in this current game that I'm casting still deal a lot of damage. It actually makes a lot of sense. They haven't had their damage tweaked, so we're gonna see probably one and then either more Oracle concentration or a Phoenix follow-up just to go for that kind of attack where you lift up the queen and do a bit of damage. These adepts grab a couple of kills, 3 on one, 2 on the other, so that's about 5 workers dead. Is a nice counterattack. Not exactly super shutting down our Zerg human player, but you know, they're on the way to a 3rd base. It's in fact about to finish as I'm speaking. And more drones are coming out to replace the ones that were lost, so not that big of a deal for now. What's really key here is our human has not overreacted to AlphaStar and has not overmade army units in anticipation of an attack or a counterattack, but gone right back to droning. Absolutely the right call, especially after taking some of that early economic damage. Providing a little bit of pressure to the other side of the map, we do have AlphaStar now to make the decision, focus on the Oracle or focus on the wall at home. It looks like AlphaStar, even though it is an AI, has chosen the Oracle instead. Not terrible, because as you see here, the laser just kind of went off and started attacking the 3rd instead of the wall. This is no longer as dangerous. That 3rd base can get canceled. Yep, did get canceled. Grabbing only one more drone kill out of this makes that end up really not being worth the either attention span or the micro or the decision just to send the Oracle across the map. Insistent here to try to automate a 3rd base down, leaves a gap in the wall because that's not where the focus of this was, and our Zerg player rushes now into the main base. Well, initially this was about 2 probes killed, It might be a bit more. Oh no, AlphaStar's got that micro. You see the weak probes get mineral walked back through the cluster of probes. That is some AI bullshit. Like, you can't pull that off if you try your best. That was really well executed out of AlphaStar. And of course, I'm hyperbolizing. You could absolutely do that, but most players couldn't and wouldn't because of the amount of micro and attention span you have to spend doing that. Cool beans though, seeing AlphaStar pull it off. Back on the other side of the field for our human, they've got their third base set up, and of course tentative to transfer drones until the anti-air was established. With the production of more oracles coming in, 3 of them are actually incredibly dangerous. These can start taking on queens. Flooding lings though underneath this, +1 melee to come with this too, as well as banlings. This is going to be a very interesting game here for red. As long as they don't take too much economic damage, they're actually going to have a really good army to fight with. Because unfortunately, whether it's a dead oracle, live oracles, or phoenix, none of these units are particularly great at dealing with a lot of units. Yeah, oracles can sit over lings and cook them up all day, but they are limited by their energy, so they can't attack forever. So it's kind of like the Zap Brannigan killbot strategy, right? You just send enough lings, and once they've soaked up all the damage, or the killbots have killed enough units, that's when the attack will stop. So the oracles here are limited by their energy, as said. You'll see them follow for a little bit, but they can't follow forever. Nice split choice here out of our human. Some links to the main, some links to the natural. Not getting that many probe kills though. Ooh, a lot of damage done for certain, but hardly any kills. A little disappointing. And with those units have been wasted on the other side of the map, it means they aren't here at home to help defend, and that means it's going to take longer to clean up these adepts and get back to mining efficiently. I haven't had the income graph or the income number showing for quite some time, but as you see here, with even workers, it should be closer to even, but we're seeing big dips here on red because they have to pull drones around and try not to die. I mean, there's 32 out of 16 stacked up on this base. Should be plenty of income. Of course, as the battles of thirds settle down, you know, blue's got their third base set up. Our human does too. This was actually where they made the lair, funny enough. I don't hate this decision if this ends up being a 15-minute game, but if this ends up being like a 10-minute game, this ends up being a big weakness actually here right in the front lines like this. Regardless of layered positioning or not, we still need more army units out of our human. I'm really concerned because while we do have +1 melee done, and that's awesome, it's not going to stop all these adepts on its own. These adepts are going to have to transfer into a bad spot. The links have to get us around. And that being said, there's not even a commitment from the adepts. The oracles and the adepts could just be here to harass and try and poke and just basically keep red from attacking because they're so busy defending. The adepts, there's no way to take that transfer. AI or human, that'd be a suicide move. So nice cancel on the psionic transfer. More drones are on the way, but this is getting to be a very different tech style of game. We're gonna have upgrades favoring AlphaStar. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Upgrades favoring our human, especially with the +2 factored in. But then we have actual like technology advancement favoring AlphaStar. Oh, great interception here with the banlings. Gotta finish off the adept. Drone punch it twice. Okay, that works. But what I mean by advancement in technology is, well, AlphaStar's got all of these, tier 2, tier 3 units coming out, possibly here with disruptors, especially joining the battle. That's a lot of big damage. But it's not a lot of upgrades on it. Now, luckily, disruptors are not a unit that really benefit from upgrades, so this works for the style, but, I mean, zealots you want to have for the +1, +2, keeping up with Zerg if they get Carapace, in which case, our Zerg player's not. This many oracles can absolutely chase off the lings. Our human was really hoping to snake a 4th base there to the top side, shut down that expansion, and hamper the economy, but not going to happen here. 4th base set up here and a macro hatch in front. This is so... I would love to know who this player was at the time, because this is such a weird style I don't think I've seen many Zerg players do. I mean, your layer out here is not that unusual. It's put in the macro hatchery out at front instead of the main. But we have a macro hatchery here, a macro hatchery here, and another base coming down. We're going to see a flood of lings this game. Maybe some roaches, but I really don't think this is going to be a game that goes to hive tech. I don't think it's going to go to vipers. Everything you're setting up just to spam a lot of larvae and use those minerals, those hundreds of minerals that are not being used right now. A little supply block is awkward, but I guess counting on these lings to die and just sending another wave in over and over and over, flooding ling after ling after ling, wave after wave. As you see, the lings do have some pretty good damage. And unlike the previous attacks, this got some good drone kills. Well, probe kills, excuse me. 1,400 minerals just waiting to use that larva. Inject's going to... Oh my god. This kind of a ling flood all in, by the way, would pair really well with banlings. Unfortunately, not enough time to get them out for that attack. Just kind of going for time. I mean, we're at that point where, let's not forget, with upgrades, and there are some critical upgrades factored into Starcraft 2, Banelings being one of them. Once they have +2 weapons, they can one-shot probes. So you wouldn't actually have to get like 5 Banelings rolling into the mineral lines. You'd only really have to land 1 to get that big damage shot. Oh, DT down here to the south. Obviously, knowing about it, trying to surround it, gonna bleed out a couple of lings. But the idea with this is like you keep the DT in place and it can't go chase your drones. You would much rather lose lings than lose drones. So good surround, cleans that up. Awkward as that was, mission accomplished. But okay, so we got oracles in the sky being a big problem for the lings. You also have these disruptor shots that might just get the magic hit. And with lings, they clump up so badly that any disruptor shot that goes off is probably going to hit like 5 minimum. Really thinking about committing, now pulling back. Man, so many Zerglings are dying in this game though. 137 already dead. But with these macro hatcheries and the what I'm sure is gonna be the 2,000 minutes. What's the commitment here? Spire? It's a swap to Spire? This late in the game? I guess the cool plus side of this is like no player in their right mind would have Phoenix out in anticipation of it, because who would make the swap? But I think supply blocking or Zerg more than anything else, because as you can see here, oh, nice attempt here to Banelings this time. As you can see here, very clear. Oh, that was actually a really good trade with that last one. It's not the money, they just don't have the supply. And they haven't lost a bunch of overlords, they just didn't make a bunch of overlords this game. So this is something where, oh man, I feel like Red really could have run away with this game, maybe if they managed their supply a little bit better. But let's assume that they're gonna make 17 more Mutalisks, right? There we go. These are all coming out so late. So many lings have died already. Like, you know, you've got your ace units coming to the whole 144 dead Zerglings later type thing. Add in 60 or 50 of those Zerglings as if they were alive. Pair that with the mutas, and that's easy mode. But oh, here's those +2 weapons. Oh my god! Good shots with the Banelings there. It's crazy how big of a difference that is, because with only +1, that would not have killed half the mineral line. It would kill maybe half the mineral line maximum, instead of the entire dang thing. But AlphaStar doesn't care. It says, you know what, my economy doesn't need to be better because my army is 5 Archons, 7 Disruptors. I mean, if the mutas, oh god, hold on, I need to, nope. Oh, we got to brace for impact, because I already see what's going to happen here. Look at these mutas clumping. These Archons are going to absolutely blast them. Zerg players, take your bets. I'm going to hold my breath for this fight. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. And this is some okay connections. Maybe I was wrong about this. But still, it's mutas versus Archons, and Archons are the hard counter to mutas. All of them revealed as well. There's some hallucinations in the mix too. That's something I've been loving watching AlphaStar use these hallucinations mixed into its playstyle. 25 mutas though, if they can get range, you can see them snipe off the Archons like this, and in those situations it works really well. But the Archons deal 43 damage to these Mutalisks. That is like 1/3 of their health, plus it does splash damage in a very small radius. So if they cluster up and clump up like they are, this could be so bad. You can see our human trying to split, like just a little bit of a split here. Keep them separated so they don't all get nuked down, but they have to engage these Archons at some point. It's a little bit of splits here on top of the Archons, spreading out to avoid that splash damage, but in the process, loses everything on the ground. It feels like our human player is taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You know, they get in there, snipe off an Archon, but then they lose like 15 Zerglings in the process. Snipe off an Archon, lose a natural base in the process. Clumping up, wanting to commit, getting a little bit scary now because we got Stalkers warping in. These Stalkers do not have Blink, but they do have anti-air capable of countering these mutas, especially with +3 weapons done. Oh god, I'm getting so scared of these money shots. Goes in and nuke the Warp Prism. Good shots there out of Zerg. But still, oh god, it's a dangerous game of cat and mouse, and every time Grandmaster player gets caught in this situation, it costs them so much more. The supplies overall aren't that different, but it comes down to the type of supply, right? Oh no. No, don't clump up like this. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the end of the game. GG. AlphaStar takes another game from the humans. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry if I sounded tired on this one, guys. I was actually on such a hype train roll after that last video yesterday. I just recorded this one back to back. So enjoy your days, have a great time, and I will see y'all on the next one.